Good evening, folks. This is Logan Giles here with StormInterceptor.com, recapping today's weather and looking at the next couple days and a quick look at the main story for the United States in the immediate future, which is, of course, Tropical Storm Sally. Here in Salisbury and the Delmarva in general, we had a pretty good day. It was a little bit humid, but not as humid as I thought. We did have a high temperature of 81 degrees here in Salisbury at the airport, while we had a low temperature of 65. It was mostly cloudy to start the morning, but as the day went on, we did have those peaks of sunshine come in. And now I'm looking at my window, and it is pretty sunny. So we did have some sun to end the day, which is great. Now, tomorrow it might be a little unsettled, not really expecting much. There's going to be a weak cold front moving through the morning, which might bring some rain showers if it does hit. I'm not expecting much, probably going to be less than a tenth of an inch, if that. It is going to be a rain shower, but once that moves through, oh, it's going to feel nice. This is Tuesday evening. We'll really feel the temperature change tomorrow night, but Tuesday evening, it's it's gonna be great. So it's Tuesday night, so we are talking about temperatures in the oh, that went away. Oh, it's back. So temperatures are in the 60s, while the dew point, which we all know has been very humid for the last few months or so, is will be very, very nice. Mid 50s, which is going to feel like very fall like. It's going to be crisp. So this is not going to be a pattern change. It is going to be a bit warmer in a couple of weeks, but this is a welcome pattern change, definitely. And for the next few weeks, it is going to be a lot cooler and not as humid, which I know for all of us is a good welcome change. Okay, now shifting gears a bit, which is the big topic of everything. Tropical Storm Sally. Latest update, as you can see, is a 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. It's about 220 miles due southeast of the Mississippi River. It is going to make landfall near there sometime early Tuesday morning as a hurricane that is expected. Looking on satellite, it doesn't look terribly impressive. It is a bit organized, but most of the convection is in the south. Part of it because of strong wind shear, which is pushing down on it, forcing those storms south. However, that shear is expected to linger off in the next few hours to tomorrow night. That will help the storm become more organized and look like a more traditional tropical system into a hurricane. Now, impacts. We all know the storyline. It's only a category 1, right? Only a minimal category 2. I don't need to be ready. Who cares? It's not even a major hurricane. Whatever. No. This is of course not true. We have seen a lot of times, including in the last few years with Hurricanes Florence, for example, Hurricane Sandy. We've seen these minimal systems, even Imelda, these minimal graded systems become monsters in terms of impacts. Whether that be rainfall like Florence or Imelda, or storm surge like Sandy and Ike. Now, storm surge is expected to be life-threatening along the Mississippi and Louisiana coastline, most more part of southeast Louisiana. Once you get east of Fort Fourchon, it is not expected to be life-threatening. However, southeast Louisiana and the entire Mississippi coastline will have life-threatening storm surge. Storm surge above 3 feet can and will float cars and might even move them if the water is strong enough. Once you get to the double digits, that's when you have problems. That gets up to the first story of the house and makes survival very difficult. Please listen to those warnings. I'm not scaring you. I'm not being fearful. I'm not being a hypist. This is the truth. You're talking about 7 to 11 feet of storm surge. Now, the only good side is that it's going to be hitting during low tide. So that's the saving grace, if you want to say that. Also, as you'll see in this map, there's not as many people In Louisiana, where the highest storm surge is going to be, the only population is around Lake Pontchartrain and the New Orleans, where even storm surge is expected to be pretty bad there, probably in the 7 to 11 foot range. So New Orleans, Lake Pontchartrain, you are still under the gun for storm surge, probably between 5 and 8 feet. The levees will be tested. I believe they can hold 15 feet of storm surge, so they should hold, even including the rain. But that will be a major storyline to follow. These levees have not been tested since Hurricane Katrina. This obviously is not going to be even close to Katrina. Katrina had more of a westerly path and had more time over the Gulf of Mexico and was more organized as it left Florida. It actually made landfall as a Category 1 in southern Florida. So that's what Hurricane Katrina was like. Tropical Storm Sally, of course, formed over the Keys and isn't really terribly organized right now. So it's not gonna have. It's also gonna have less time over water. So any comparisons to Katrina are false. It's not going to be Katrina, but it is going to be problematic. And looking at Mississippi, you have the communities such as um, Gulfport, Biloxi, and Bay St. Louis, which is located along the relatively populated coast of Mississippi. So we will see those impacts in Mississippi along the coastline. Now, this is a site that I love to use. It's called windy.com. Let me get over there. So this is windy.com, which is a site I use a bunch. It definitely helps. And as you can see, so this is Monday. This is on Tuesday night. My apologies. This is on Tuesday night. And as you can see, you have winds up to this is wind gusts, but I'm gonna guess this is gonna be closer to sustained winds of 70 miles an hour. So strong tropical storm force or even hurricane force, pouring into that very vulnerable spot in Louisiana and Mississippi. You see how the coast is like concave or shaped like a funnel? Whenever we say whenever we see coasts that are like a funnel, such as the Big Bend of Florida south of Tallahassee, we 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 ultimately say storm surge will be increased here due to water essentially funneling in to the coastline. This area is no different. Water will be pouring into Lake Pontchartrain and the Gulf of Mexico along the Mississippi and Louisiana coastline, along with the 15 15-foot waves, which will also cause problems on top of the 11-foot storm surge, which is on the higher end of forecasted. I'm thinking more of a middle ground, but 11 feet, anything above 6 feet is very life-threatening. Okay, so keynote's back open. So with rainfall is also going to be a major issue. So you're talking about 10 to 20 inches of rain. That dark purple spot along the extreme portion of Louisiana, just north of the Mississippi River, that's over 20 inches of rain. And the WPC, the Weather Prediction Center, if I can pull it up, issued a day 3 high risk rainfall, which is only the third time they have done this. They usually do it for the only times they've done it was Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Florence. And those were the two most rainfall events from a tropical cyclone. So Laura means serious business. I'm pulling up the map from the Weather Prediction Center. In the meantime, you can look at the rainfall forecast. So even parts of the Florida Panhandle, you're talking over a half foot of rain. Parts of Mississippi, over 10 inches of rainfall. Top along the coastline, you're talking about 10 feet of storm surge, potentially a foot of rain, and large wave action. So this is going to cause some problems, which should not catch people off guard. This area is very hardy when it comes to hurricanes, but that does not take away the damage that this would likely have on the Mississippi and Louisiana, as well as the Alabama coastline. Impacts are expected to begin tomorrow evening for Louisiana and Mississippi and Alabama, and it should begin tomorrow afternoon for parts of the Florida Panhandle and the Big Bend area. I have the map. Let me just pull it up quickly. So Sally is I believe, the 19th name of the season. We also have Paulette, which is going to impact Bermuda as a Category 2 hurricane, and should become major after landfall. So we're talking about some pretty substantial season, and we will have Teddy, which is forecasted to become a major hurricane. And all we have left is Vicky and Wilfred, and then we go to the Greek alphabet. The only time we have gone Greek is 2005, during that infamous season. So let me pull up. I know the screen's black, but I am pulling up the WPC right now. Let's take my face away. So all of that pink you see right there, I gotta put my face on. All that pink there, you see that is a high risk for rain on day 3 again. The only time they have issued this is during Hurricanes Harvey, which hit Houston, and Hurricane Florence, which flooded the Carolinas. So extremely dangerous situation for the central Gulf Coast. The 2020 hurricane season remains incredibly active with a record 7 hurricane landfalls. As always, stay safe, and I'll have another update tomorrow night.